Hello, these are the news stories for May 2009.
Following the government's decision to press ahead with the privatisation of Royal Mail, the CWU has launched a new intensive anti-privatisation campaign. Launched at John O'Groats and ending at Land's End, Keeping the Public Posted will see CWU regional secretaries take a giant postcard and inflatable postbox on a tour across the nation's towns, cities and beauty spots until finally being delivered to Gordon Brown. Nick Thatcher reports.
For the single price of a first-class stamp, I can send mail anywhere in the country, from the most northerly point of mainland UK, 874 miles, to the far southwest, and I can be confident it will reach its destination. Here in John O'Groats, the CWU is launching a new campaign against the government's plans to part privatise Royal Mail. They're calling it Keeping the Public Posted. Kevin Slocum from the CWU, we've come to the last house on mainland Scotland to launch this campaign. What are you hoping to achieve?
Well, we're at the last house, firstly, Nick, for a very important reason, which is you can go in that house, you can buy a postcard, and you can send it anywhere in the country for one price, one service. And that's what's at risk if the post office is privatised. And it doesn't just stop here. You look out in the distance, you'll see the Orkney Islands, beyond that you'll see the Shetland Islands. You can send a postcard or a letter from there for the same price. The universal service is at risk if the British Royal Mail is privatised.
And this giant postcard is going on the road as well, with the opportunity for the public to sign it.
Absolutely, yeah. Scotland, Wales and all the regions of England are all going to, and Northern Ireland, are all going to see this postcard. They're all going to get, the public are going to get engaged, they're going to get the chance to sign up their support, sign on the postcard, sign a petition. We'll deliver that message to Gordon Brown and number 10. The country wants its public postal service protected.
Over the coming weeks, the postcard we've just seen will be taken in this van to the four corners of the UK, and each leg of the journey will be recorded by CWU regional secretaries as they travel across Britain. The first person to start the journey is John Brown, the regional secretary for Scotland. John, where are you going and what are you hoping to achieve?
From here we're going down to Inverness, and then we're travelling on to Perth, into Glasgow, into Edinburgh, and then on to a marching rally next Saturday in Kirkcaldy.
So you're hoping to take the message of keeping the post public to as many parts of Scotland as you can?
Of course, absolutely. We want to see as many people, want to meet as many people, and we want everyone to get the message.
Well, John, I can't hold you up. Best of luck. I'll let you go.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well, they're off on their journey and we'll be keeping you up to date with the latest from the Keeping the Public Posted campaign over these coming weeks. Keep checking CWUTV.org for the latest news and for those video reports from the drivers themselves. I'm Nick Thatcher for CWU TV News. Now I just have to work out how I'm going to get home.
Tensions at Carphone Warehouse are mounting as one CWU representative is sacked and another suspended at the Wednesbury branch on charges of conspiring against a manager. The CWU has branded the moves as blatant union-busting tactics and vowed to vigorously appeal the decisions. Redundancies at Preston and other UK sites are also adding to the tensions.
As far as the CWU is concerned, it's unacceptable that just because individuals stand up for the rights of themselves and their work colleagues, the company should victimise them and dismiss them on trumped-up charges. We've already held a rally outside the workplace where we had branches from across the West Midlands come and leaflet the workforce and to leaflet passers-by. The next stage in our campaign is we intend raising the issue in Parliament and asking for MPs to support an early day motion to demand the reinstatement and for basic trade union rights to be restored within the workplace, because there's a climate of fear being created that is intolerable under a Labour government. We should be expecting basic standards which are not being delivered in workplaces such as this where there is no union recognition.
There will be a major feature on Carphone Warehouse in the June edition of Voice. For immediate information, please visit www.carphoneworker.co.uk. Industrial action may be taken over BT's proposed pay freeze for all UK staff members, despite non-exec directors receiving a 50% rise in their fees. The CWU are determined to underline the importance of a fair pay award, which properly rewards the talents and dedication of CWU members.
Well, we've been in discussions for the last few weeks with BT on pay, and obviously their position, the public position at the moment, is a pay freeze for all our members. We do understand the challenges BT have and face at this point, but obviously they have to understand the challenges facing their members. With the food rises, fuel rises, transport costs, etc. over the last year have been quite substantial. So we do really believe our members deserve a rise in wages.
The CWU has agreed to suspend all industrial action at Airwave indefinitely, following the conclusion of successful talks. The CWU and Airwave have now resolved the situation around compulsory redundancies to each party's satisfaction. Both parties have agreed that Airwave will undertake a separate review to see where cost efficiencies can be found in the service centre without the need for compulsory redundancies.
The action was actually resolved by the members putting enough pressure on the company that it meant that there were actually no compulsory redundancies. There were redundancies, but they were all achieved through voluntary means. There is an unresolved issue, which is around the thorny issue of shift changes, and some of the job losses were dependent on those shift changes. We've had a very strong set of words from the company, which gives us some hope that in actual fact, even if shift changes are introduced, there will be redeployment opportunities, and again, there will not be compulsory redundancies. If there are, we'll be straight back to the members.
The Communication Workers Union has condemned Royal Mail's intention to impose a pay freeze on low-paid workers as appalling. Dave Ward, the CWU Deputy General Secretary, said that Royal Mail had posted its best financial results for years and outperformed all of its financial targets, and that for Britain's highest-paid civil servant to impose a pay freeze on workers who earn less than the UK average wage was outrageous. The CWU are strongly urging Royal Mail to reconsider. The government remains set for a clash with MPs, unions and the general public after rejecting a new proposal from pressure group Compass that outlined plans for the modernisation of Royal Mail without privatisation. On the latest episode of CWU TV, Neil Lawson, the chair of Compass, outlined their proposals for a non-profit Royal Mail that would function like the successful Network Rail. However, the government said that a not-for-profit model would fail in the test of transforming the firm. Billy Hayes, the General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union, said the government says it's happy to discuss alternatives to the Royal Mail, but when presented with a well-argued public model, they immediately dismiss it. A new poll published by Politics Home has revealed overwhelming support for a new post bank. 74% of the public were found to support the plans, as well as many leading organisations. The coalition behind the post bank proposals is now calling upon the government to wholeheartedly back proposals for a new, publicly owned post bank, which would provide a range of financial services and an alternative to the commercial banks.
The post-bank campaign is going really, really well, and it's going from strength to strength. We're picking up tremendous amounts of support right across the board, not just unions and social groups and community groups, but also organisations like Consumer Focus, which is a government sort of quango. Very important that they're now on board. They see the need for this, which we've been saying now for 6 months as a coalition. We're at the stage now where we're actually designing some options to take to Lord Mandelson, to take to the government and say, OK, it's perfectly doable, it's not difficult, it's actually quite easy if you have the political will to do it. We've got 12,000 post offices, we've got financially well-trained staff, we've got all sorts of compliance boxes already ticked. If you want to do it, which we think you should, you can do it, and here's how. And we'll be doing that at the end of May.
Entitled Project Holborn, the CWU are continuing talks with BT to propose innovative ways to deal with surpluses within the company until economic conditions have recovered.
Well, Project Holborn we've sat down with the company. It's really to get through the challenges facing us over the next year or so, especially that, and obviously into the future. Mainly around resourcing, and the big issue for us is job security for our members. There's other aspects to Holborn around attendances. Another major aspect is performance management, again, which is a major issue. And it is a project that hopefully the company and the union, it's a win-win situation. Mainly, as I said at the beginning, job security is the major factor for us.
A dispute at the Global Services division of BT has begun over home workers. Global Services, which is currently making huge financial losses, now wants all of its home workers to return to office working in a bid to transform the division's fortunes.
The union's position on this is we understand that the business has to transform. We understand the need to go through the site rationalisation and to cross-skill and to change those jobs. What we don't accept is that that should mean an end to home working and agile working. It may need a period of time for co-location in order for that bedding in process, the change of the job to take place. But we believe that after that period, then those jobs should be reassessed to see whether they're suitable for home working and agile working.
After a long union campaign, the right to request flexible working has been extended beyond the original scope. Flexible working is now open to all parents of children aged up to 6 and of disabled children up to 18. In addition to the improvements, expectant mothers will also now be entitled to a one-off payment of £190. Known as the Health in Pregnancy Grant, this will be payable for expectant mothers from 25 weeks onwards.
I welcome the new employment rights on flexible working. Like I've said, they improve it for people who are looking after children, who have got caring, looking after older people, and for people who are looking after children with disabilities. They've all been improved. The age limit has been raised. Also on maternity, the food nutritional allowance, which has been added into the flexible working and into the maternity rights, is a great improvement, and any improvement is better than what we've had previously.
For more information, please contact the CWU Equal Opportunities Department, or alternatively go to the TUC website at www.tuc.org.uk.
And if you'd like to know more about any of the stories or issues you've seen in the programme, you can find out more details on the CWU website, which is cwu.org. That's cwu.org, or in recent editions of the news magazine Voice. Until next time, thanks for watching.